Hey, if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Boris, and in today's video, I'll be sharing my journey on how I dropped out of college twice, and I was able to build a six-figure side hustle, all while keeping my full-time job. I'm 33 years old, living in the San Francisco Bay Area, and about 4 years ago, I started my side hustle doing digital marketing. This past October of 2022, I was able to quit my full-time job. I was making about $75,000 a year, and work for myself completely. From as long as I can remember, I've had many side hustles doing lots of random things with the goal of always making money the fastest way possible. Just to name a few, I was flipping shoes like Jordans and Dunks. I was selling RC helicopters and cars on eBay. And I even opened a kiosk at the mall selling eco-friendly backpacks, which I did not know much about. Right after high school, I had big dreams of becoming this big shot CEO, wearing fancy suits to the office and eating $100 dinners every night. But as I got older and the world continued to evolve, my desires on how I wanted to make a living also changed. During this time of my ever-changing side hustles, I was also attending junior college. I was taking my general eds with the plan of transferring to a Cal State and graduating with my business degree. Many times during class, I wouldn't even know what the lecture was about. I'd be so caught up in my dreams and daydreams that I would be sitting there in class, writing up my big master plan on how one day I'd become a successful entrepreneur, be my own boss, and have my own business. I made okay money with some of these side hustles that I started, but they always had two things in common. Number one, I didn't have a very big passion for it. And number two, they weren't very sustainable. It didn't last long. Let me explain. Throughout my 20s, I was easily influenced by people telling me, hey, you can make this much money doing this hustle or that much money doing that hustle. Was I able to make a few bucks starting up all these random side hustles? Yes, but it was mentally and emotionally draining, just seeing how little money I was making for how much effort I was putting in. Like many business ventures I started early on, I would get super excited about how much money I could make, and honestly, I wouldn't even care about what it was. It seemed like I had a new venture every few months, and it felt like I was running in a constant circle. The cycle usually went like this. Number one, I learned about how much money I could potentially make doing this random hustle. My excitement level, 10 out of 10. I was gonna be a millionaire. Number two, spending days and weeks coming up with my business plan and thinking about how much money I could make. My excitement level, still 10 out of 10. Number three, investing time and money to start things up, then putting plans into action. My excitement level at this point, about 8 out of 10, still up there, but why it's dropped a bit was because I had to invest money that I didn't originally have to begin with. Number four, tell all my friends and family and social media circle what new business venture I was doing this time. And then number five, when I would hit a bump in the road after a few months and realize the money I was making wasn't worth all the time I was putting in, my excitement level quickly went from a 10 to a 1. It was after spending about 3 to 4 years in junior college where I decided to finally just make the decision of dropping out and pursue my goals of becoming an entrepreneur. This was probably one of the hardest decisions I had to make during this time because at that time, my mom was working 2 full-time jobs. She was a single parent, and she had goals for me to graduate college and one day become a nurse just like her.
Mom wanted me to be a nurse.
So shout out to all the nurses out there. This was also around the time where I saw a lot of my friends start to graduate college and land nice level entry jobs. I found myself feeling envious sometimes because of all the nice vacations and the fancy meals that my friends were able to take, the 401k and retirement plans they were able to set up, and just all the different things they'd be able to do fresh out of college with a nice paying salary. And here I was, broke as a joke, lost as ever, with nothing but $1 and a dream. But through it all, I stuck through it, followed my plan, and kept pursuing my entrepreneurial goals. So here's where it all took a turn for the better. 2018, I was 29 years old, and my career path at that time didn't seem too far off from where it currently was throughout my entire 20s, which was really going nowhere. I couldn't hold down a job longer than a year because honestly, I'd get super bored and I'd always go back to just reselling stuff on eBay. I wanted to start a new business, but I knew this time it'd have to be different. I knew that if I went down this path again and tried to eventually be my own boss, that this plan would have to be more strategic, more thought out, more intentional, and most importantly, this would have to be something that I could see myself doing for a very long time. After spending days and weeks Googling on what type of business venture I should do this time, I also wrote down my strengths and what I'm good at. Number one, social media. At this time, I had a small following on my Instagram page because I was helping small business restaurants promote their business through my page. Number 2, marketing. This had to do with my social media page. I was learning as I was going. 3, sales. I consider myself good at communication, so I wrote it down. I figured if I'm gonna do something for money, it would definitely have to play to my strengths, and it would also have to be something that I'm good at, because when it got tough, I would have to push through. After writing down my strengths, my weaknesses, and lots of Googling, the path I chose to follow was in the world of digital marketing. I chose this path because the world was changing and I felt like there'd be a lot of businesses out there who were looking for ways to capitalize on how they can speak to their demographic through social media platforms. I'm not getting paid to say this, but my digital marketing journey started by buying this Facebook side hustle course from Bobby Hoyt, aka the Millennial Money Man. Fun fact, it was actually my then girlfriend, now wife, who saw this course and then sent it to me. My first thought was not another guru trying to sell me an online course. And I read in a Bobby's story, he was making $40,000 a year or a high school band teacher and was in a lot of debt. So this was the path that him and his wife decided to go down to eventually pay off all their debts. At the time, the course was around $400, so I thought, what the heck, and I bought it. I spent a few weeks knee deep in this course, learning everything I could and putting a plan together. This course taught me how to help local business owners find new customers doing Facebook advertising. There's still a huge sales aspect to this because it involved me calling and contacting these small business owners to introduce myself and to see if they'd find my services valuable. I knew that if I tied all my life experience and job skills together, that I could actually make this thing work, like for real this time. Businesses need customers to survive, so if I could be of value and help them find those customers, then, well, I'd be in business. After completing the course, my first steps of action would be to find local businesses that actually needed my help. I found it very difficult asking people to pay me money to do something that I had very little experience in, so I bit the bullet and worked for free. I hit up all my friends and family to see if this was a service anybody would find valuable. The first company I was able to help was my friend's chiropractic business. I was able to help him generate new leads on Facebook, and I was able to practice building my skills. I worked for free for a couple of months, and I used this experience to build my portfolio. The doctor was actually able to turn some of those leads that I generated for him into new paying patients, so it was a huge win-win for the both of us. Then I was able to get some other clients who were restaurant and dessert shop owners. They paid me something like $500 a month at the time to help advertise their business on Facebook. I did this for about a year, where I was getting paid by some clients and other clients I was working for free. I was helping local dessert shops, local restaurants, and local chiropractors find new business using Facebook advertising, all while I was able to also promote myself using my social media platforms. Then one day I felt like I caught my big break. Someone I had went to high school with saw that I was doing digital marketing and he slid into my DMs. He had already started an online business selling auto accessories. He was selling on like Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, all the local places, but he really wanted to expand and grow his business, really invest into digital advertising. First 3 months of my services, he paid me $750 a month. After 3 months, he saw that his business really started to grow using these paid advertising strategies, so I was able to renegotiate my rate and double it from $750 a month to $1,500 a month. During this time, I also had a full-time job making $22 an hour, which comes out to $45,000 a year. So I thought to myself, if I can get a couple more businesses to pay me to do this, I'd have a real opportunity and a real shot to make as much or even out-earn my 9-to-5 gig. 2020 was a year where I believe it taught a lot of businesses of all sizes that diversification was important, especially when it came down to marketing. In 2021, I felt that businesses really started to move in the digital direction and really invest in their digital marketing. Because of the combination of that impact and me not giving up, in 2022, my side hustle doing digital marketing hit the 6-figure mark, all while I was still at a full-time job earning $75,000 of an annual salary. It was just this past October of 2022 where my wife and I decided that it was time for us to take this leap of faith, quit my full-time job, and turn my digital marketing into my full-time business. It was a whirlwind of emotions: happiness, excitement, anxiety, uncertainty, you name it, I was probably going through it. So here's 7 key takeaways that I've learned throughout this journey and how you can also apply this to yourself. Number 1, focus on your strengths and find ways to bring value to the marketplace. If you can do that, you'll always be able to make a living. Number 2, If your only goal in this is to make money and nothing else, the truth is it's gonna be so much harder to push through the challenges and tough times when they do come. And believe me, they will come. Number 3, don't quit your day job, literally. Don't do this until you're financially able to sustain your monthly expenses. Wait until your side hustle starts to gain traction and make some money. You'll know when the time is right. Number 4, ask questions and read books. This has taught me so much. I have a couple people in my life who are entrepreneurs, who are highly successful, so I just pick their brains whenever I can. Facebook groups, just ask questions, read stuff. You'll be able to just learn, just soak it all in, and then apply that to your own business or side hustle. Number 5, network. Now, this doesn't mean spam your whole social media feed on what you're doing, and just, again, figure out ways to bring value to people. If you could do that, it's an easy conversation starter. Number 6, if you're gonna fail, fail forward. You will fail and you will hit challenges in the road. So if you fail forward, you're at least improving. And my final key takeaway, number 7, this sounds cliche, but never give up. I can't imagine what my life would look like if I had given up throughout those times when it got tough. But you just gotta hold it down, you gotta push through the tough times and really find ways to overcome these challenges. What drove me to continue pushing through was that I wanted to control most of my time. When it came down to work, I wanted to control how I earn my money and just be able to spend more time with my loved ones. As for what the future holds, I'm not too sure what that looks like. What I do know is that I really enjoy what I'm doing. I love the people that I work with, and I'm gonna continue to try to do this for as long as I can. Thanks again for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed listening to my journey, and I hope that some of the things that I've gone through and things that I've talked about can help you in your journey as well.